Imagine being so afraid for your own safety and that of your families that you need to flee your own country. White people, yes, white people, are being hunted in their homes, on their farms, by mobs and criminals, but also their own politicians. And when Donald Trump offers asylum, ends up being 59 of them came across, the media and his opposition lose their damn minds.
I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
I can't give a guarantee of the future, especially when things are going the way they are.
All right, hey guys, South Africa, it's a mess, and this country's treating it like they're treating everything. Of course, there's a divide, and of course, there's a false narrative, and of course, the media is nowhere to be found when accuracy is involved. So they say it's a conspiracy. They say it's just crime. It's not a genocide. And they're saying that only the far right is talking about this in regards to the safety of the white South Africans. And when I say they, I mean the media and other people of color, it seems. Mostly the ones who are anti-Donald Trump. I've got news for them. Land is being stolen. Children are being butchered. And South African politicians are standing on a stage singing for more. Literally singing. Here's the part they don't want to hear. I have friends from South Africa, and they have family there still. Good people, they're smart people. They're living it. This isn't some undercover conspiracy theory from the far right. This is happening. If anything, the cover-up is the conspiracy from the other side of things. Why is there a need for this? Two of those friends are trying to get their mom, we're trying to get her over here. Turns out she is over here now. I hadn't spoken to them in a while, and then when this came up, I reached out. Imagine being so afraid for your own safety and that of your families that you need to flee your own country. It's not paranoia, and it's not politics. That's the reality in South Africa right now for white people. These are the same people who constantly cry about historical injustice. Now they have nothing to say when the injustice is happening now, because it's the wrong kind of people. So for this episode, I really want to talk about the one kind of racism that the world refuses to acknowledge. White people, yes, white people, are being hunted in their homes, on their farms, by mobs and criminals, but also their own politicians. And when Donald Trump offers asylum, ends up being 59 of them came across, the media and his opposition lose their damn minds. Let's break this down piece by piece. It's May 21st, 2025. Let's roll. You've seen the headlines now. White genocide in South Africa is a myth. It's right-wing fear-mongering. It's debunked by data. Really? Because in 2022, Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF, which is a major political party in South Africa, he stood in front of a crowd and he chanted to a song, "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer." He smiled and the crowd cheered. This wasn't a small crowd, this was a stadium filled with people. My guess was it was upwards of 80 to 100,000 people. Do you know what the Boer means? Those are the white farmers originating from the Netherlands and Great Britain. Just in case you needed a reminder, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play you this clip of him singing. Or of them, you'll see. Here it is.
Shoot to kill! Hamaza! Kill the poor! The farmer! Kill the poor! The farmer! Brr, pa! Pa! Brr, pa! Pa! Attention!
How can that be taken any other way? Kill the Boer, kill the farmer, pow pow, shoot to kill. And you have an entire stadium chanting this. It's a song, I get it, but what the fuck does that song mean? And why are they doing it now? And why are they chanting it and getting all riled up? Do the math, people. CNN won't show you that in context. Instead, they'll roll out a panel calling it baseless and statistically insignificant. Some even defend taking the land back by force. We all know if an American politician said half of what this Malema did about any other race, that career would be over faster than the next news cycle, and he'd probably be investigated. This is not about stats. This is about selective outrage. In 2018, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa publicly announced that the South African government would begin expropriating land without compensation. His exact words: "We're going to take the land and give it to our people without compensation." That's not hyperbole. That's official policy. And the justification? Race, history, redistribution. Funny how theft is always more palatable when it's dressed up in equity language. And our people? You mean South Africans? Only the black South Africans count? I thought that if somebody had a South African passport, it meant the same thing. Here are the numbers they don't want you to see. Let's talk about this. As of 1994, white South Africans, about 9% of the population. Not a lot. They owned roughly 70% of arable land, however the fuck you say that word. And after decades of redistribution efforts, the government claimed the number dropped to about 70%. Not great, but apparently that the redistribution was taking place. But very few land seizures followed a legal process. And in 2023, there was actually a proposal to amend Section 25 of the Constitution. It would allow seizures without court oversight. Can you imagine if Donald Trump said the following: "We're going to take land from black people and give it to white ones. No payment, no court." Would there be any debate as to what that was all about? Now, before someone tries to hit me with this is payback for colonialism. This is kind of this same narrative that you get here sometimes and all over the world. Things happen. Things have happened in the past. That doesn't mean that you can just start murdering people, stealing from people, and taking over physically. It doesn't. And if you think that, then maybe talking about it's not going to do anything. People start leaving. I know the history, so I'm not trying to deny it. I'm not pretending this came out of nowhere. Here's the backdrop. European settlers, mainly Dutch and British, started taking land back around the 1600s. By the time apartheid kicked off in 1948, a small white minority controlled the majority of South Africa's farmland. We just said it. Black South Africans were pushed into homelands and stripped of property rights and cut off from ownership for generations. So yeah, land reform was always going to be a part of this post-apartheid cleanup. But here's what people don't talk about. Since apartheid ended in 1994, South Africa's government tried peaceful transfer of land. Willing seller, willing buyer. The whole thing. It didn't really work. 10 to 13% of the land, like I mentioned earlier, has been transferred after these 3 decades. It was about 31 years ago. So now, to score political points, they're skipping the courts and saying, we're taking the land. No payment, no legal process. That sounds like progress until you remember the following. Most of these white-owned farms in South Africa are very productive. This isn't, I know that there are some parts of the land that they're claiming that are being unused. It doesn't matter, it's not your land. It doesn't matter what they're doing with it. It'd be like me having a car parked in a driveway and not driving it, and someone going, well, you don't drive it, I'm going to take it from you. It's just silly. But the farms, they feed the country. And they employ thousands of black workers. Take them away without a plan, and you don't get justice, you get famine. And a lot of jobs lost. Not every white farmer stole the land Also, many were actually born after the apartheid ended. They bought the land legally with titles and taxes and everything in between. And if this was really about lifting people out of poverty, why is it always about taking and not building? It seems like it's always let's bring these people down in order to bring these people up. Why can't we keep these people up and bring other people up? If you want land reform, fine, but let's not pretend that state-sanctioned theft wrapped in historical guilt is a solution. It's not justice, it's just another form of apartheid, but it's just flipped upside down. I want to talk about the real horror in all of this. AfriForum, which is a civil rights group in Africa, states in 2023 alone, 2 years ago, there were 296 farm attacks and 49 farm murders. The majority of the victims white, farmers, elderly, isolated, and they were often tortured before being killed. Children have been murdered, women have been raped, families executed. This is not made up. These are in reports, they're factual, and that's one of the biggest problems I have is that those things are being dismissed as not provable when in fact they have been. A lot of people are saying, well, 296 attacks and 49 murders, that's not a lot of people. Really? It's still more than zero, and it's spreading. And you've got a government chanting for it on a stage in an arena. Yet, South Africa's Human Rights Commission says farm attacks are not racially motivated. If a government ignored hundreds of race-based murders with political allies cheering it on, how would we describe that? If you flip the races, it would be labeled genocide. But right now, it's just property redistribution with blood. Here's another gem from this leader, a Malema. And I'm going to play this for you. And tell me what you think. Here we go.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we have not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal call.
Cry babies. Cry babies.
I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
I can't give a guarantee of the future, especially when things are going the way they are.
Subtext.
Especially if things are going the way they are, there will be a revolution in this country, I can tell you now.
All right, people. What do you think of that? What do we think of that? As of now, I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. I don't need to say anything about that video. If anybody that's white living in South Africa dismisses that video as whatever. Oh, and what are they, crybabies? People here need to wake the fuck up and quit playing this political game and hating on Donald Trump and hating on everything that he does and that anybody that voted for him might think. It's getting absurd. And this is a big example of it. Here's the part that really lights the hypocrisy on fire. The part that sparked another load of media liberal nonsense. In 2025, a couple weeks ago, I was going to say May of 2025, but that is this month, Donald Trump, as we all know, and this is what sparked me wanting to cover this topic, Trump granted asylum to 59 white South Africans who were fleeing the violence that I speak of. They arrived in the U.S. waving American flags, grateful for a chance to live in peace.
A group that U.S. President Donald Trump has insisted, against all the evidence, is subjected to racial discrimination and even violence.
The media, that response, this is racist. Propaganda. White nationalist stunts. See, Trump only cares about white people. Meanwhile, under Biden, our previous president, we get over 20 million illegal border crossings. It's not a typo. 20 million. And a chunk of those include repeat offenders, gang members, even known criminals, but they call it compassion. So I'll ask again, why are 59 white people fleeing state violence. Why is it controversial? But 20 million undocumented migrants breaking the law deserve sanctuary. It's obvious. There's no reason to be upset about 59 people. What I'm going to play for you now is a panel from CNN, and they're a bunch of cackling little hens and chickens over there as well. Real fast, just for time's sake. I'm going to give you this, and this woman, Allison something, she's something else. Yeah, check this out.
South Africa did it, and they reformed their constitution, and part of that is that the people who are native to that land deserve their rightful land back. That is not what the Afrikaners actually want to have happen, which are the white Africans, and so who are not originally from Africa, who colonized South Africa also. And so that is what they are saying is discrimination. Now, if the constitution in South Africa is discriminatory, they have their checks and balances in that land, just like we do. And that is for them to, so if the Afrikaners don't actually like the land, they can leave that country.
They are. They're leaving to come here.
No. They can
These
leave
refugees
and go,
are coming here.
They can actually leave and go to where their native land is, which is probably Germany.
Are you
or
against them coming here?
Holland, probably. Holland,
Are you
yes.
against them coming here?
I'm against the hypocrisy of this administration.
No, that's not the question. The question is, are you against them coming here?
If there was actually a genocide happening, like there is in other places in Sudan, in the Congo, I'm not opposed for Congolese and for the Sudanese to come to Africa, just like I'm not opposed to Venezuelans and South Americans coming to America if they are fleeing and looking for asylum.
Give me a break. Give me a break. I mean, she literally just said it without realizing she was saying it. Her reasoning is that these people in South Africa are not facing genocide. That would be the only reason. But she was throwing in a lot of other black and brown people who can come here. Guess what? Last I checked, there wasn't a genocide going on, called for in El Salvador or Mexico or these places she's talking about. It's just another example. I mean, thank goodness for Scott Jennings. I mean, that guy, they have him on as a conservative, and man, I don't know if I'd be able to be as nice as he is and respectful as he is. Here's Don Lemon. He's another race baiter extraordinaire. He's no longer employed, so he can scream and cry racism all he wants. But check this out. This is to me, this is even crazier. This guy's something else. Check this out.
This South African farmer bullshit, which is the most blatantly obvious racist shit ever. It is blatantly obvious the way that we treat white South Africans, who, by the way, for the most part, and I am generalizing here, some of the wealthiest people are well-to-do people in the country.
Shame
to
on
speak
them.
their language. They own most of the land and the property, and somehow they're being granted a fast track to become Americans while they're trying to cut down on immigration from other countries. You know, you get that from where? From the brown people.
What a bunch of bullshit, Don. And I'm sorry the sunlight's hitting me interestingly on my face here. Give me a break. No one's trying to halt immigration, legal immigration. We're trying to halt the illegal immigration and the crimes that are happening in this country. But Don Lemon, here it is. It's racist. Yes, it's racist against white people. And this idea that 59 people coming here to seek asylum when Don Lemon doesn't know what the hell's happening in South Africa is just beyond me. And guys like this, they, whether it's clickbait or whatever they want, it's absurd. So what I'm going to play for you real quick here is somebody that I respect, and for time's sake, I'm just going to kind of get him up here and play it. This is Officer Tatum. This guy is like-minded. He's a black man. He's a former police officer. And instead of just having a white guy sit here and talk to you about the white people fleeing, being murdered for their land in South Africa, maybe his opinion, might make more of an impact. So I'm going to play that for you real fast. And there's not a lot to be said about this, but this is Officer Tatum. Again, he's kind of local down here, and he's done very well. 4 or 5 million YouTube subscribers, and he's spoken in front of lots of people before, and I respect this man greatly. So check this out.
But then let's talk about Don Lemonhead and these fools that are on the media. I do not understand how they have selective outrage. This country allows over 1 million immigrants legally to enter into the country every year. We are the most generous immigrant supported country in the whole entire world. There's no other country that allow more immigrants in their country like we do. None on planet Earth. And then also majority, go look it up. Majority of the immigrants are from Mexico, clearly. And then also majority of the immigrants are non-white. It's Mexicans, it's Asians. You go down the list. Most of the people that are coming to the country isn't white. I looked it up. I did the research on it. So why then are we acting as if this is some new wave of Donald Trump picking racial means in which to allow people into this country when we allow 20 million people who were illegal aliens, Mexican, who were foreign from Africa and everywhere else. We allowed them to come in our country unvetted. 20 million mother freaking people.
Yep. Nothing more needs to be said. I agree with him 100%, and that's it. Now, real quickly, let's talk about Elon. Elon is South African. He's born there. But he's also one of the only people big enough with a platform to force the truth into light. When people started using X, formerly Twitter, to talk about the violence going on, the expropriations and the farm murders, Musk did not censor them. So now he's being blamed also, of course. He's being blamed for everything. News outlets accuse him of amplifying white genocide myths. Fact checkers crawl all over the platform, giving quote-unquote facts that they claim are facts. And AI moderation tools like Grok are deployed to shut them down. They're not trying to fight misinformation by fact-checking. They're trying to fight the exposure. Because once people actually see what's happening, they'll stop buying the lie. I'm going to wrap this up. If Julius Malema was white and said, kill the blacks, simple as that, we'd have UN investigations, sanctions, and international headlines for a decade. But he's not. The victims are white. So it's silence or it's false narratives. You choose. If you want to talk about racism, you want to talk about equity, then start by admitting what's happening in South Africa. I'm tired of hearing about equality and unity from the anti-Trump camp, even though it's absolute bullshit. People who voted for Donald Trump, MAGA, whatever, are accused of being the ones who are against unity, although I've seen no evidence of that, period. You're all full of shit, because this is not equality, it's not unity, it's hypocrisy. You are actually championing using force to take land, and if that wasn't bad enough, the violence that ensues, including women and children. This is hypocrisy at its finest. You're all full of shit. It's not a conspiracy, it's not misinformation, it's on camera. It's in the legislation now. And it's in the fucking graveyards of the people who have died. Call it what it is. It's targeted, it's evil, and it's being defended because victims don't fit the narrative. And if you think that 59 farmers are a threat to your worldview, but 20 million illegals crossing are just part of the process, then you're not compassionate, you're complicit. As always, thank you guys for listening to this. This one is going to rattle some cages. Good. That's the point. People need to start saying what other people won't and standing up to the nonsense. Yes, everybody's starting to scream fake news, but man, is it true. And after researching it and after talking to people who have experienced it, fake news is actually a legitimate claim. Send this to someone who still thinks racism only goes one way. Send it to someone who really needs to understand that genocide doesn't come with a color requirement. Remember, like and subscribe, do all those things. Let's spread the word. Let's get on the same page here and move forward together. So stay inquisitive and stay informed. Please stay laughing. Stay in the grave. Love you guys.
Streets, motherfucker.